Yasas tiginete. Okay, no, I'm sorry, I'm joking. This is not going to be a Greek video. This is going to be a video where I'm going to describe to you my experience on a shamanic breathing meditation journey that I went, because the emotion and the power that I felt from it was so intense that writing it down just wasn't enough. So I had to make a video. I do apologize. I'm not very good at keeping things short, but hopefully there's enough in it for you to kind of, stay hooked. So we all gather together for this one journey that we all wanted to experience, and we started off by waking up the body, doing some stretches. We woke up the body by just tapping around the face, around the neck, the chest, down through the legs, front, the back, came up around the back of the head, massaging everything. Just wake up. And sorry, that music is getting a bit intense. And once that was done, we lie down and we were asked to envision an aim, something that we want to potentially achieve, a goal, or maybe a habit that we wanted to let go of, something we wanted to release. And if I'm honest with you, I couldn't think of anything that specific day. And we got straight into the breathing, and I started it all off without anything in mind. I thought of a couple of things, but they were all just superficial, and I was really only thinking of them to think of something, because I was like, oh shit, I need to start this breathing with something in mind, otherwise nothing's gonna happen, So I started this off without anything in mind, and we were told, you're going to imagine yourself climbing a mountain, and you're going to go through this journey, you're going to climb, and when you reach the top, you're going to have reached your higher self, okay? And this aim or this goal that you want to achieve, or this thing that you want to get rid of, will happen at the top. We were also forewarned that during this kind of breathing, certain kind of things might happen, like you might have your fingers curling up, or you might even have your arms curling up. You might turn into a crab. So it was all expected, which is good, because it can be freaky if you don't know that's meant to be happening. So I'm lying there and I'm engaging in this breathing with this beautiful music in the background, and it's all guided, and the speaking is motivational, and it's amazing. And I suddenly feel from my left hand, my forefinger starts lifting off the ground. It starts lifting off quite extremely. Then the next one to start lifting off is my right hand forefinger, and after that both my thumbs. My wrists start cranking a little bit, and slowly my other fingers are lifting as well. And as this was happening, I actually had a really vivid flashback to my childhood, because I used to do this thing when I was young. I don't know, maybe like 7? I actually don't know, could be any age. It was in our first flat in Brussels, and I don't remember many details from around that time. Oh, I remember the time I got stung by a wasp in my dimple. That was memorable, definitely. But anyway, that's divulging again. That's my thing, I'm sorry. And so I remember when I was a child in this flat, I would sometimes just resort back to my bedroom by myself, and for some reason I would sit with my legs crossed facing the wall and close my eyes and just breathe, and I'm not even really sure what I was doing, but I just remember that it would happen naturally sometimes, and my mind would just go into somewhere else. I'm not really sure, because as soon as I would do that, I wouldn't even realize that I was getting carried away in my either thoughts or non-thoughts. To be honest, I can't really remember the specifics, but I just remember that I wasn't fully present. What I mean is, I wasn't aware of my surroundings, so if my mum was to walk into the kitchen, I wouldn't know. And as I would sit there with my eyes closed, I had this kind of feeling after a while that my body was lifting off the ground entirely. A tiny bit, only a tiny little bit, but I really felt like all of me was lifting off the ground. And the very first time that happened, that was the moment that I clicked back into reality, and I was like, whoa! Like, hang on, let me check, am I off the ground? And, well, I wasn't, but, even though I wasn't when I opened my eyes, I still in my head, I was like, no, but I was. And I think, now that I'm talking about it, I think I remember having conversations with myself about potentially telling other people, and other people being like, you crazy. But my response was always, no, I know that this happened. This is not crazy, just, you know. But I never ever told anyone about it, ever. I did try it again a couple of times, maybe once or twice more. Again, don't remember the details, but I tried it a couple of times more, and it happened again, I swear. Anyway, so as I'm lying here during this incredible shamanic breathing journey, and my fingers are lifting off the ground, my mind goes back to that time, and I'm sat in that room again, and I'm starting to float off the ground, and I just remembered everything so clearly, like it was now. And so I start getting emotional, really emotional, and my body starts to shake. I start to cry, still within, keeping within the breathing methods that we're being told, and still following everything. But yeah, I just get really emotional, and this goes on for a little while, and then the lady tells us, okay, you are now reaching the top of the mountain. And the feelings start getting more and more intense because, I've just traveled back. I've just traveled to my childhood, and she tells me, now you're reaching the top, and that aim, that goal that you had is now going to be at its greatest. And suddenly everything became clear. It was like I just knew that my aim or my goal or my word or whatever, it was to believe. And I'm picturing myself climbing that last bit of that mountain, and I'm just like, believe in yourself, in the world, it was just believe in general, okay? And we reached the top, and this feeling was so strong. I honestly don't even know how to describe how powerful it felt. And she tells us, okay, you're at the top now, and I want you to sit on the top of the mountain. And I don't want to sit in my mind. I'm at the top, and I'm like, I'm gonna hover. I'm not touching the top of the mountain. I'm going to be above it because I feel like I'm above it. I feel higher than the top, okay? And so I hover there, and I feel just so incredible. I'm sorry that I keep saying this so much, but I don't know how else to explain how intense the feeling was. And so she then says, okay, just look ahead of you, there's a forest, there are some trees, and you see a person, you see a shadow emerging. And just notice around you, what's around you, maybe some fields, and I notice the forest, and I see these beautiful rays of sunshine shining through the branches and the trees, and little squirrels jumping between the branches, birds chirping everywhere. I have these butterflies, really beautifully colored, very colorful butterflies, just flying around my head, flying around my body, just almost kind of spreading just peace and happiness and calmness and just beauty, okay? And ahead on the other side is this gorgeous, huge waterfall. This mountain at the top, when we say top, we are so high up that the waterfall falls with such power so far down, and it just adds to the whole powerful feeling, okay? And I see this person emerging from the forest, and she tells us that person is you. And notice, please, what you're wearing. What is your expression? So I'm wearing this long white floaty dress, and my eyes are closed, and I just have the most peaceful smile on my face ever, and I'm so happy. And I'm just gliding. I'm not actually gliding, but you know, it's just such an airy, calm, peaceful feeling. And I'm walking towards me, and she says, as you reach your higher self on top of the mountain, I want you to embrace yourselves, and I want you to hug. And at that point, we take 3 deep breaths in and out, and on the final release, it was like magic. I'm almost shaking thinking about it, but I'm hugging myself, and with this deep breath out, my face merges with my face, and my head merges with my head, and my body merges with my body, and it's just this kind of okay. And all that's left is just this mist, this magical little magic particles of shining, glimmering little fog particles just around this merging of the me and the me, the me and the higher me. And it feels amazing. And I'm believing in everything, and I'm believing in myself. I didn't realize that I wasn't believing in myself potentially, but you know, this is the journey that my mind took me on. And so she asks us, now that you are merged with the higher you, and all these aspirations and aims and thoughts that you had in your higher you mind are now within you, think of something that you want to take out of this and into the world, something that you're going to do, potentially. And really, for about a few seconds, I admittedly tried to think of something relating to my career, because, well, it just makes sense, you know, that's the next step in my head, in my everyday head. But my mind wasn't there in that moment. It wasn't the important thing to concentrate on. And so even though I tried thinking, you know, what design will I bring to the world, or how can I change the world through design, or how can I do something incredible, my mind was like, nah bruv, this is the time for feeling wholesome. And I have this feeling in my hands. Even describing it now kind of feels a little bit like, it just feels weird, but it's just what I felt, so I'm just gonna tell you. I had in both my hands a feeling, oh, whoa, God, that scared me, sorry. The door just shut. Anyway, so I had in my hands this just kind of energy. It felt like particles of invisible fire with an incredible kinetic energy force that was almost, you know, pushing my hand up out of the ground. And this was in both my hands. And it was just a kind of fireball of happiness. And when she asked us to think what we want to do after this, the only thing I could think was, I want to take these balls of happy fire and I want to share them. I want to share them with the world, and I want to share them with everyone, because everybody needs to feel this feeling, because it's incredible. And to believe in yourself and to just believe in general is, I mean, it's incredible. It makes you feel so strong. And I guess the message is that these times are tough, but we are all strong. We're all really strong, and just to not forget that, because it's so important. And there are so many tragedies, and there's so many tough times happening right now with, I mean, it's not even, it's not just now. There always has been, and there always will be great difficulties in this life, but just don't lose your path, don't lose your track. I mean, I'm really not here to preach at all, but I don't know. All I know is that with this experience, I just got an incredible desire to share and spread the word and thought of belief and happiness, because that's what I felt. I just had the fireballs, and I just want to throw them at you, Just take this and feel it, and feel incredible, and be immense, and be the best you, and be amazing, because this life is amazing. Why would we waste any single moment we have, even being locked inside? There's still so many amazing things that are happening, I'm sure. I know it's hard. A lot of the time it's really hard, but we still have our life, and we can still smile, and we're healthy, and just so many more things. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that, because I've talked for a while, and I'm sure that after about 30 seconds no one is gonna bother listening anymore. But have a lovely day, and stay strong, and believe in yourself, because you are amazing.